Hi, I'm Damon, CEO of British Design Fund, and I'm joined today by Matt Simpson, founder and CEO at NUUV. How are you, Matt?
Yeah, all good. Thanks, Damon. Yeah, lovely day up here in the northwest. Doing all right.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, it's good down here too. So just a few minutes, give you the opportunity to talk to me, and we'll pass this on and share with our investor base just a little bit about your business. You're one of our recent investments. So tell us a little bit about New UV, the technology, what the problem is that you're addressing, and maybe a little bit of a backstory about how you came up with the idea.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah, we're very excited to be joining with British Design Fund. We are bringing a number of technologies to market. We supply equipment to improve the way that water is managed. Now, that's water for public consumption, and that's water as it's returned as wastewater to the environment. So we have technologies which are based around optical processes, so using ultraviolet LEDs and other equivalent technologies to measure and monitor water quality, and also to be able to treat water for diseases, micropollutants, and all sorts of other recalcitrant problems.
And so, kind of, where did you see the opportunity? Are you from this sector?
Yeah, the water industry, I mean, it gets put under a single umbrella, but there's a huge potential in it. As I say, everything from the water we drink through to the water we use in industrial processes, through to the things that we see changing with the ever-changing climate now. We either have too much of it, too little of it, or it's got things in it which we need to remove. So there's a huge opportunity in the water technology sector. And I'm a civil engineer by background and have spent the last 30 years of my career wrestling these issues for UK water companies and internationally. And I was working overseas, solving some problems with a water company in sub-Saharan Africa. And we recognized the need for energy efficient water treatment solutions. And that really led to the sort of development of these novel solutions based on LED technologies.
Got it. And that kind of that energy efficient element and the ease and I guess scale with which these sensors can be deployed. Do you want to talk us a little bit about the kind of use case of those, particularly maybe in the UK? Like who will your first customers be? You don't necessarily need to name them by name, but kind of the
Yeah.
sector they're in and the sort of businesses that they're in, and how will these sensors be used?
Yeah, sure. Well, we're going through a bit of an industrial revolution in the water industry at the moment. So driven by a lot of the sort of work that we've seen happen in the wider industry with automated platforms and different business models, and the need for more control, more visibility, and more efficiency out of the whole water industry is now a common theme. So our primary customers are large regulated water operators. Principally in the UK, it's the regulated water industry, the providers of the domestic water that we pay our bills to. But internationally as well, the water industry, there's lots of industrial water suppliers that either provide water to beverage and bottling industries, or as we see again, more and more of now, water to handle the cooling requirements of data centers is becoming an increasing concern. So our primary projects and our primary customers are that user base, using large quantities of water, extracting that from the environment, treating that for use, and then disposing of it safely back to the environment.
Yeah, very good. Great. And then whereabouts are you on your journey to early revenues then? So whereabouts is that technology, again, without giving anything too sensitive away, whereabouts are you with the technology, and when do we think when do you think you'll start to see these sensors actually deployed and revenues coming in?
Sure. We've got a number of products in our sort of R&D portfolio and our R&D pipeline. Our first product to market is a device for controlling disinfection byproducts and also for optimizing chemical use in water treatment works. So that first product is arriving to market this year. We've been running trials with a couple of UK utilities, which have gone well over the last few months. And so we're just moving into first sales for that product at the moment. We have another very exciting opportunity, which is going to start to really develop next year with a set of regulations which have been driven by the Department for Food and Rural Affairs. And it's looking at addressing this issue that we'll have seen a lot in the news around river water quality. So there's a Section 82 of the Environment Act, a sort of, let's say, legislation that came in 2021, which is driving a requirement for water companies to monitor the quality of rivers upstream and downstream of all of their assets. And there's a deployment period across the next 10 years to install what will be tens of thousands of locations of this equipment. It's going to be actually the world's largest environmental monitoring, real-time environmental monitoring program. So it's a massive opportunity for us. That starts to roll out from next year onwards. And our technology, we've received an Innovate UK grant to move our primary technology across into that opportunity, that business space. So we see our first technology coming to market the end of this year. the river water quality work will start to be able to sell as next year develops, and then from there on in we get into bigger and more exciting things.
And do you think the sort of river quality side of things is the growth market for NUUV?
Yes, and in two folds. Measuring and monitoring, understanding the issue that we have with our river water quality and being able to better influence the operation of the assets. And then most significantly, actually improving the river water quality won't come from measuring it, it will come from taking better action. So it will come from things like the ability to disinfect wastewaters in real time. Now, if we're to achieve that, we have to have very smart systems. We have to have energy efficient systems. We can't just throw more energy and more carbon at solving problems in our water treatment industry. It's already the fourth largest energy user in the UK. We have to drive efficiency. So the technologies that we develop sit on both sides of the fence, measuring and monitoring to understand the problem, and then treatment to actually resolve some of those problems. So yeah, it's a huge opportunity on both sides of that.
Yeah, and I was going to ask kind of we always look at these things and go, if you didn't exist, if NUUV wasn't coming to market, how would these utility companies deal with it? Like, what are the alternatives? I think you've kind of answered it. It's very much around that the efficiency of scaling up the amount of monitors that are now required to meet legislation, and that energy efficient piece that I think you sort of mentioned already. But it's so how do these, but right now on the river monitoring side, let's say, how are the companies going about measuring? I appreciate it's probably not at the scale that it will be in over the next sort of 10 years, but at the moment on a smaller scale, how are they going about without your technology?
Yeah, at the moment, the regulated industry is monitored on what's referred to as grab samples. So on a certain number of days, somebody turns up with quite literally a bucket on a piece of string, grabs a bit of water out the river and sends this to a remote laboratory, which will process the results over the next few days, enter them into a spreadsheet and circulate that spreadsheet around the users. So the only thing that data tells you is what happened in history. It doesn't actually give you any kind of actionable insights or doesn't help you mitigate or reduce that pollution. The whole point of this Environment Act 21 is to go to a real-time river water quality monitoring process, which is visible to the public as well, which I think is a really important part of the regulation and is a real big change to how work has been done to date. These are going to be instruments installed by the utilities, but it's going to be providing data to the utilities to optimize their performance, and also to the public to be able to know when it's safe to go swimming or when it's safe to interface with these rivers, to understand what people look at from the riverbank and wonder, is that sewage pollution? Is that road runoff? Is that agricultural runoff? Should I be concerned about that? That's what this opportunity is about. And that's really different to the current kind of grab sample technique, which really doesn't provide a fit for purpose solution.
Very good. Does sound like something that they could have done with at the Paris Olympics last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all watched that tick down with great interest. And
Yeah.
the Paris Olympics did show that if you measure and monitor, and if you have the right technologies, you can achieve these very good things. There was no way I would have been jumping in the Seine 5 years ago. And now they have got it to a swimmable state. And there's a whole big campaign for swimmable rivers. And it's an interesting international movement that's gaining some traction. So, as we move on, as we develop our technology and as we look outside the UK, because we're very much focused beyond the shores of the UK, there's a lot of opportunities to improving river water quality, river health, and then the opportunities for people to safely use their rivers.
Very good. No, thank you, Matt, for taking the time out to explain that. A hugely impactful technology that is much needed, like you say, in the UK and beyond. Thank you very much. Well, we look forward to being a part of your journey and supporting you as you grow and having a positive impact with the technology that goes through and making our rivers and rivers all around the world a lot safer to go into. Lovely. Thank you very much, Matt.
Thanks a lot for your time, Damon.
All the best. Bye.
Bye now.